Welcome back, Guys in Jerseys, podcast number 4. This is segment number 1. Let's jump right into the weekend updates. All right, Colin, we predicted this last week. Kentucky was going to blow out Tennessee, and they did it.
Yeah, absolutely. Looked great. They looked a lot better than Tennessee. They look like a team that could be a national championship.
Well, I think they're better than Tennessee, and they proved it. It's one of those things where they're more talented. I mean, Tennessee might be older, but Kentucky's more talented, and their coaching is way better. Duke is now number 1 after Tennessee lost, and they will be heading in to North Carolina this week.
What day is it? Is that tomorrow night?
I think it's tomorrow or Wednesday. I think it's someday this week. Come on, don't care about days. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a tough one. I don't. This is so hard to pick. Like, who's gonna win? Obviously Duke.
I'm gonna go with Duke.
It's a rival game. I mean,
I think it's gonna matter which North Carolina team shows up because we watched Michigan blow them out.
Right.
So.
And we've also seen them blow out good teams.
So it'll be interesting. Hopefully, a good North Carolina team will show up and we'll have a real good game.
Well, I mean, hopefully. If I'm betting, I'd probably bet North Carolina just on the upset.
You're gonna bet the upset.
I would bet the upset. That's my
upset. That is impressive.
Would not be surprised. You're playing at home, you're gonna beat them.
Wow.
The other big news, college basketball up here in East Lansing. Nick Ward fractures his hand. He had surgery today. He's out indefinitely, but he's gonna reevaluate every week to see kind of where he's at.
I'm not sure how big of a loss this is. He really hasn't been playing too well lately, but they're going to lose a lot of depth with him. Yeah. It's a big body in the paint.
That's a big thing.
So we'll see how that affects Michigan State in these coming weeks. It'll really be interesting to find out what happens.
Well, it's two big losses. To kind of what they had expectations for this year, and I think you lose 2 of your best players, 2 of your better players. It's going to be tough. It's bad timing, but, if he can play and then he comes back and has a miraculous tournament, that'd be crazy to see it happening. But, I mean, it's just tough.
End result, we're going to have to see how Michigan State can respond with 2 of their better players down.
It's going to be tough. I mean, they have Michigan. Is it this
Twice
week?
Still.
I think they play them this week, maybe. I don't know. But that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Obviously, without Nick Ward, just on the fact of his presence on the court, his depth. Maybe that's not he's playing as good this year, but just what his mind comes to. The 5 Slamma Jamma in Cassopolis. The Rangers beat the Mendon Hornets 68-32. It's a dunk fest. It's better than the dunk contest in the NBA.
Yeah.
This is one of the funner teams to watch in my honest opinion. Obviously, I think it's the funnest team I've ever watched for Cass.
Same here. I'd agree.
I can't remember a time we've had this many guys that are dunking, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
They just collapse teams on defense, and they get out and break.
Yeah, they, over a 30-point win. Tyrese Thompson had 18 points and Braden Saxon 14 to lead the Rangers. Good performance by those 2. Postseason coming up here in a few weeks. We'll see if they can make another big run.
I think they'll get deep into this. I wouldn't be surprised seeing them in the championships.
I think our district's different this year.
Yeah.
So I think that will definitely help. You're not playing the same teams all the time. So.
They're just I just don't know how many more teams are more athletic than them.
Well, that's the biggest thing.
That's the thing, guys. I think we're one of the most athletic teams there is, but it's just can they play together when they're playing those teams that got those great coaching, that got the great systems, got that chemistry.
Right.
I think what helps us too is we have height, consistent height.
Yeah.
Unlike we've not really
This is one of the bigger teams that we've had.
Keyshawn, Braden, Tyrese, they're all decent. Devin, they're all decent.
Devontae,
even Darian.
We are. Hassan can jump out of the gym. I mean, we are. And then you can always kick it out series for a 3. I think we're very. This is just one
good
of the
depth too. I mean, JJ at the guard.
One of the funner teams. One of the funner teams we've probably ever had.
Absolutely.
To watch. All right, All-Star Weekend. It's kind of lackluster in my honest opinion.
Yeah.
They need to change it up. Something needs to happen. Team LeBron beat Team Giannis.
I saw a stat last night. 167 combined threes were shot in that game.
And they didn't make probably half of them.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, there were some nice dunks.
I mean, it was better than the dunk contest.
Definitely.
It was definitely better than the dunk contest.
I mean, LeBron and them were down by, I think, 20 at one point. They come back. Might be a liar to what the second half of the season for LeBron would be. Kevin Durant named MVP. I mean, it was kind of like no one other than Giannis and anybody on his team really showed how good they were.
Yeah, I mean, Giannis probably had 30 dunks last or whatever.
And he went I think he went 7 for 7 his first shots.
It was ridiculous.
And they were all dunks.
Yeah, it was nuts.
He was shooting threes.
Yeah, no,
It
he
was-
wasn't making three.
No.
He was shooting them. He was trying.
I mean,
I mean,
definitely trying.
Kevin Durant gave him all the space in the
Yeah.
world.
Oh yeah. Kind of like LeBron did to Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
last
yeah,
week,
playing
yes.
D in the paint. Yeah. Well, we'll give that one to you.
no, but I think All-Star Weekend really needs a revamp.
I think the dunk contest was horrible.
It was terrible.
bad.
I want to see some superstars.
I mean, I
Yes.
can't remember a time where guys were missing that many dunks.
Right.
They missed
Yeah.
they would go to like their fourth dunk,
Right.
and
yeah.
they still couldn't make it.
There hasn't been a good dunk contest since Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon.
That was,
had
I
it.
mean, it was
Yeah.
very
That was probably the best one I've
And
personally
even
ever
before
watched.
then-
I mean,
it
I
was-
mean, for like us, I think it was the best one we've ever watched.
Right.
I mean, because obviously we didn't watch the Dominique and
Right.
MJ one because obviously that one was probably the greatest.
Right. The competition was the was
Oh.
Well,
very
I mean,
good.
you had two of the back then. You had the biggest name in basketball,
right.
and the who probably could have been the biggest name in basketball.
If
If
it
Michael
wasn't
Jordan
for,
wasn't
yeah,
there.
If it wasn't for Michael Jordan.
But Giannis sent out
He
a
did-
tweet
he did
last
say he
night,
wanted to-
dunk contest next year with a question mark, and then Donovan Mitchell said if he doesn't
Donovan
use it,
Mitchell was actually
Nice.
doing the broadcast for the guys on TNT, and he said, "I will challenge him next year." And he said, "I'd like to do that."
that would be interesting. If you get Giannis in there, dude, I see a dunk from the 3-point line.
Yeah,
Honestly,
absolutely.
he was
Absolutely.
Yeah, he jumps out of the gym for sure. He's super tall. He's lengthy.
Right.
No, I think it was who can I dunk over?
Right.
I
yeah. I mean, those.
come
I'm
on.
so tired of those dunks, dude. I mean, the last cool jump over dunk I saw was when Blake Griffin jumped
Over
over
the
car.
car, yeah,
that
I
was
was
the
gonna say
last
the
one I
same
cared
thing.
about.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon did the one over the mascot. with the
Right.
legs.
Yeah.
that
but,
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But if this last one was, well, can I dunk over this guy?
right. Right. I don't care if you can jump over Shaq.
You know,
I really
Okay,
don't care.
but that dunk over Shaq, and then he still had
And,
the
well,
elbow.
he had the
that
knee. He had
dunk-
his hand on his shoulder, and Shaq ducked his head.
That
and there
dunk
was a
was
lot
the
of
only
stuff.
dunk where you could argue, well, that was kind of a decent
Right.
dunk contest. But Dennis Smith couldn't even get over Dwayne Wade.
Right,
and he still had
right.
to- It's terrible.
I
My
yeah.
thing is,
I like J. Cole coming out.
J.
I
Cole,
did
that
like
was
that.
pretty
I did
cool.
I really
like
wish
that.
J. Cole would have sealed that dunk, and
Right,
that would have been my
right,
dunk of the
yeah.
night. honestly.
Absolutely.
J. Cole yamming it down.
Yeah,
I love to
that
see
was
it.
pretty cool.
no, but I feel like they're doing dunks they can't really do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or can't do great or consistently.
And I think the creativity is kind of lacking.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I remember that when Iggy, I don't know, was it when he threw off the backboard and then he came from underneath it? I mean, that was awesome, dude. And they're just not that creative dunks anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I'd much rather see some guys like them crazy dudes that you see do the crazy dunks.
Right.
I'd much rather see those guys.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
It's just they need to really fix it. I mean, obviously the 3-point contest I think is the biggest thing for Saturday night
Right.
now.
Yeah.
I liked what Ernie Johnson said though. He said because they were talking about rescheduling the Saturday night. He said let's revamp it a little bit. You do the skills competition first,
Mhm.
then you do the dunk contest, then the 3-point, and then you do that draft for the All-Star game that night.
That would be cool.
I'd like that.
I think that would be cool.
Because he said they're all there anyways.
right.
You could just do it all then. I mean,
Right.
they're all practicing together anyways. Does it
right.
really matter?
Yeah, not really. Right.
No. That would be fun. Because, I mean, that's probably big time for television. Obviously, the draft thing was huge.
If I had to be honest, I think my favorite part of the whole night was the skills competition.
I think that was,
it was
fun.
pretty.
Jason
it was
Tatum
fun.
hitting it from the half
Yeah,
court to beat
yeah,
Trae Young.
That was
Yeah.
fun.
That was fun.
I think the other thing is Joe Harris beating Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right.
It's like Steph Curry's come back home. You think one of the Curry brothers might win it. And Joe Harris comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
How about Steph to go into the finals? I think he made like 10 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, they went. I think he started out 10 in a row.
Yeah, maybe.
And then he kind of heated off. But, I mean, it was crazy.
Well, and then even going back to the All-Star game, some of those dunks.
I mean, that
were-
Steph Curry lob was ridiculous.
Right.
I think there was definitely better dunks in the All-Star game than we
For
saw
sure,
in
dunk
the
contest.
dunk contest.
And that just shows you these superstars, if they were to get into this dunk contest. Paul George with an insane,
Yeah.
what was 360, almost vertical, I want to say.
It was crazy.
It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think the Steph bounce pass to Giannis was the most creative dunk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Including the dunk contest.
No one's
Absolutely.
ever thought about that. Why bounce pass?
Did you see the height he got? I mean, dude.
That
this
ball
man-
got up high.
he
That
just-
ball got up so high that Giannis almost couldn't even.
Well,
get it.
that's one of the few human beings that can get up.
Yeah,
there.
that was probably
Yeah.
the one person in that game that could have.
I would probably say, even Kevin Durant, who's almost 7 foot tall, I don't think he could even get
No,
it.
I mean, maybe LeBron when he was younger.
Right.
Maybe LeBron.
But
when he was younger.
Giannis is the perfect mixture of length and explosion.
Yes,
That-
exactly.
It was pretty impressive.
So now we're talking about the NBA. You want to go talk about your Nick Wright?
Yes.
I'm so excited for this.
This is. I mean, his list was obviously they're all Hall of
Well,
Famers.
here let's tell him what Nick
yeah, you
Wright
want to name
did.
them all?
Yeah, well, Nick Wright said if someone retired today, who do you have as the active Hall of Fame or Hall of Famers of active players? So Nick Wright said LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Dwayne Wade, Dirk, Tony Parker, Russell, James Harden, Chris Paul, Vince Carter, Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, and Paul Gasol. So that's his big list there. If they retired today, all of them would be in the Hall of Fame. I think unanimously, we all three decided all those players get in.
For sure.
But we also have some other players that we think would get in.
Well, the other fun part about it's different than all the other Hall of Fames for basketball. It's one Hall of Fame for everything you've done.
Right.
You international, your college, and your pros in the NBA. So that's what I think makes it. It's obviously different, and that's why I think a lot of these guys you look at, and you're like, well, they've not had a great pro career, but Carmelo, he did
That's
the
what I'm-
championship as a freshman,
Yeah.
and what he's done for Team USA in basketball, gold medals.
I mean, when he was on the Nuggets, dude was one of the
Impressive.
best
And
players
even
in
in
the
the
league.
Knicks. And
Yeah, even at the
Knicks.
Knicks when he went there. Yeah,
But you
he's
know what I
one
mean? He's just the first one I look at and I go, well, but then you look at his complete
Right.
basketball.
He is he's probably one of the best basketball players we've ever gotten to see.
Scorer, I think.
Yeah, a scorer.
He's
Yeah.
got a true. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
It's a shame that he's probably not going to win a title.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that sucks.
Right.
But that's kind of, I think, a sacrifice he took, though, too.
Right.
Was staying with the Knicks. He
Right.
could have went to Chicago. He could have went to a lot of different places, but he was I'm going to stay here. Money.
I mean, that's and I think
Money
it's
talks,
kind of it's
yeah.
his decision to not chase the ring and go after the money, and then I don't really feel bad for him not getting the ring.
No, I don't, because it obviously showed that he really cared more about the gold medals than the rings.
Right,
Because
exactly.
he was getting paid
Exactly.
this crazy amount of money.
He wanted to be the best player on the court. He wanted to be able to score as much as he wanted
Right,
to,
exactly.
and he took that toll. And he's probably not going to win a title.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, he's not.
he's not even.
He's not the only one on this list, so probably never.
I mean,
Yeah.
You got
Exactly.
Chris Paul,
Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard, Russ, Vince Carter.
Well, Chris
James
Paul
Harden.
and James Harden, they may.
Yeah,
They
I
may
mean,
get
their
done.
window, I think, is
It's
definitely
it's
closed.
closing.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think it closed big time.
I think last year was probably their best shot.
I
at it.
think so too.
I think
the
Chris
West
Paul
is
got hurt.
so competitive now that it's just.
Well, and it's young competitive. too.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
You
gonna
know
be
what I
good
mean?
for a long time.
Exactly.
Like, especially like the teams like Kings and then like
Yeah,
the
they're gonna be in the
Timberwolves and-
playoffs.
yeah,
It's just crazy.
yeah.
Russell might not even win one.
That's what I'm saying. I don't foresee.
I mean, but he's just one of the.
So,
he just-
aside from these ones right here, what are some other guys that you guys have as locks if they retire today? Who's getting it?
I mean, Kawhi is another one because we looked at another list too of like the bubble players and stuff like that. So I mean, Kawhi, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Iguodala, and Paul George. I think those are guys that.
Those are the
Definitely.
five that I have for sure.
Well, and the biggest one for me that I think is Rondo, and I just think sometimes we overlook how important he was.
We
to
look
that
at the
Celtics
big
team.
three, and you're
Yeah.
like, he wasn't in it, so
I mean,
we're gonna write him
right,
off.
exactly. But remember him dislocating his elbow, popping it back in, and coming out and leading the Celtics to the
Well, I
to
think
the win.
also the older did the Pelicans last year.
Yeah.
What he did with Chicago before he got hurt.
Yeah.
The way he plays in big time games. It's like,
And
that guy's a Hall of Famer.
I think
Absolutely.
he's a proven leader. I think
Absolutely.
he's one of those veterans that can really bring a team together, lead a team. Like what he did in those that playoff run that the Celtics had. I mean, he was one of the huge parts of that team. I think without them, it could have gone a different way.
I think the only thing that hurts him though is he was the fourth member of the big three, and I think that's how he's looked at.
Well, when you have Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen, it's just
Exactly.
going to kind of be that way.
And he
but-
was really young back then.
and he was super young, yeah.
And he was still balling. So
he was
Exactly.
a phenomenal player, and
But
I think he
that's
should
just-
definitely be in the
That's
Hall of
just
Fame
gonna
one
hurt
day.
him though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, to me, I don't have him as a lock, but I think he's on the bubble, and ultimately, I think he will get in.
I hope
But
so.
I'd like to see him get in, but I just don't know.
I mean,
if
maybe
he's-
he wins the championship with the Lakers and LeBron this
Yeah,
year. You know,
hopefully.
who knows?
Yeah, that could still happen. So you don't know. This list also had Derrick Rose. I'd love to see him in. But
I mean, any
It just-
MVP deserves to be in the Hall
I
of
know.
Fame.
I do think that. I think the thing that will really help him is the year he had in college. I think that will really
Memphis,
boost him.
yeah.
I think that will
and
really
even this year, how he's bounced back through everything he's
Yeah.
been through, and he showed that he can still put up 17, 18 points a game. He can still be a starting point guard in the league after 2 surgeries, all the teams shipping him around, almost quitting basketball last year.
Yeah.
I just think his story itself, after winning the MVP and everything he's gone through, that he should be in, but I just don't know if he actually will.
Well, I mean, you talk about Derrick Rose and then you have Kyrie. Well, Kyrie's kind of that bubble too, but I feel like once it's all said and done, he will.
I think Kyrie's career will
He-
speak for itself.
Well, exactly. I mean, he had the big shot against
Yeah,
the Warriors,
huge,
and
yeah.
he is now he's the leader of the team. I feel like he will be a leader of a team
Absolutely.
longer
I mean, he's having one of the best years of his career.
For
right
sure.
now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
for sure.
So
I think the other two you look at too, if they keep winning and they stay with Golden State, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green.
Yeah, I mean,
Just on the fact that it's not that they're riding on the coattails,
right. Almost.
They've been
I mean,
But
I
they're
would say
big,
so.
But they're big parts though too.
I
What
mean-
they
I mean-
do.
but that's the thing is, I don't know if they go somewhere else if they're going to be
Exactly.
all-stars.
I mean, that's the
Exactly.
thing. I think Klay Thompson would.
Yeah,
Just on the
Draymond,
fact that
I
he can
don't
play
know.
both ways. Draymond, maybe earlier in his career, like the
But he's
good
kind of
years he had,
fading off a little
He
bit.
is.
Yeah,
He's
Klay
super-
Thompson's really
He's a
Like,
he's a phenomenal player.
a
but-
phenomenal 3-and-D
Yeah,
player.
exactly.
One of the best in the league, kind of like Paul George.
Exactly.
3-and-D, but he shoots the ball
But
better.
the thing that I think helps Paul George and Klay Thompson is Paul George was the face of a franchise.
Exactly.
And can be.
Right.
He is again, I think. I
Right,
think
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure. I
Absolutely.
think he's kind of taking that step this year. Kind of look,
I like he made it his team, like the Thunder.
and he's
really-
had to. He's had to.
Yeah, if he hadn't, then they're probably not in the playoffs. If
I
he
mean,
wasn't an MVP candidate, they're not going to be the 3 seed right now.
Right.
I mean, it could be Klay Thompson leaves and he goes somewhere and he leads a team, and then we have a completely different.
Yeah,
situation.
then that would be super surprising to me.
I don't think so. I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think he can be
Ex-
the face of a team
Me
that
neither.
can lead them to the
Me
playoffs.
neither.
I think he's going to need more help because he's not one of the guys that's going to beat you go
Well,
to the
he's
rack
not-
every
he's
time.
not a guy
He's
that's
not
gonna-
going to dish the
He
ball
doesn't
out.
bring the ball up court and create stuff. He's more of the
He's-
leap to the corner, leap to a
Off,
spot.
he's off ball, getting it
Exactly.
open.
A lot of
and-
catch and shoot
yeah.
opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, how many points did he have with dribbling? No time. Zero
I think it was
times?
close to
yeah,
40.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, I mean, say he does leave and go somewhere that doesn't have the point guard that can hit him when he's open like that, then what's he going to do?
Right.
I mean,
He's going to have to create space for himself. You don't see that too often.
Right.
He does it. I'm not going to say he
It's,
doesn't.
it's not like he cannot do it. He's
Yeah.
a good player.
But then you also talk about the system. The
Right.
system that they're in, how does that help? Obviously Steph,
Well, I mean,
Which we're talking about this now, and we might see that next year.
Well,
She
I
might
think-
leave Golden State this year.
I think everybody thinks they're going to win another title. So
Right.
you
I
add
think
that
yeah.
on.
I mean, but and then even Klay Thompson, he has Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. That's two of the best scorers in NBA history.
Yeah, that
let
was
alone
why I'm
now.
And you
yeah.
have Boogie Cousins.
And
who
Boogie,
stretches it
yeah,
out.
and I mean, so Klay Thompson is gonna get open. There's 3 other guys on the court who are just bigger threats than him.
But when he's hot.
When he's hot, he's hot. He's gonna be the hottest in the NBA. When he's
I'd like to see DeMarcus Cousins make the Hall of Fame. But I don't know if he's
a
going to.
phenomenal player.
I mean, he was the whole Kings franchise for
Yeah.
however many years.
I mean, he
he's
was.
a great player.
But I think the Achilles injury, you just have to wait and see.
We're
We're
just-
gonna have
yeah,
to
I
see
mean,
what happens.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you
I
can't
mean,
say that.
You could kind of argue him and Anthony Davis' careers are the same, but I think what boosts Anthony Davis is what we talked about the college. He led Kentucky to the championship as a
Right.
freshman, and he got it done. So there's going to help him.
Yeah.
And the Team USA stuff, he continues to play on that.
Yeah.
And
I
if
mean-
he goes to a team where he thinks he can win a championship and he wants to, he's definitely going to be.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, he's real similar to Boogie. I mean, he's missed a lot of time. Probably some
Yeah.
of the most amount of time of these people on this list. He's been hurt a lot.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if you kind of look at everybody, though, they've kind of all had injuries or kind of sat out.
yeah,
here.
sat out for a little bit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you look at them all and you're like, oh.
Well, I mean, and the most iffy one for this list right here for me is probably Joe Johnson.
I mean, I would say Joe Johnson or Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Love.
Kevin Love was the face of a franchise for a
He
while.
was.
But when he went to Cleveland, he really dropped off. So like
Exactly.
you look at his stats, and you're like,
And he
well,
got hurt. He got
He
hurt.
also,
He
but
was
he
hurt a
did
lot,
break the
too.
world record for the longest shot in sports science,
Hey,
which
okay.
I feel like that should be
Okay.
noted.
Hey,
I feel like we can't.
hey,
leave
we're
it.
talking. Hey, like we said, the Hall of Fame's all
Yeah,
legendary
and the
basketball.
whole
Yeah.
thing. He's got a world record.
That's
So
the
I don't know if
part.
it's still the
So then
record.
we're going to put Ricky Rubio.
Yeah,
in there. I think he has the
exactly,
most
exactly.
shots from behind over the back.
Yeah, I think that.
Look at that. You get
Absolutely.
Guinness World Record Hall of Fame.
You're Hall of Fame.
Hall of
immediately.
Famer on
Yeah.
And then I don't think that Blake Griffin or Lamarcus Aldridge will get
I
in.
feel like Blake, if he just would have kept playing the way he did, which I don't think he could.
This year
I don't
he's
think he-
playing amazing.
He's
I don't
not
think
doing.
he-
Yeah,
I don't
he's
think
doing pretty
I'm
good.
saying
this
if
year.
he just would have kept dunking and being
Yeah.
the powerhouse, I don't
Yeah,
think he
yeah,
could
yeah.
physically anymore. I think that's why he's really opened his game up. But yeah, he's.
I mean,
definitely-
he's been a 20-8 guy all
Yeah.
all his career.
Well, I think you watched him in the All-Star game last night. You saw old Blake.
Yeah.
Catching lobs,
Yeah.
dunking. I just don't think he can do it physically. That's why I think hurt him.
You're right.
But I mean, he is the Pistons. I mean,
I mean, they have Andre Drummond.
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 but
Yeah.
I believe that Blake Griffin's a much better
Well,
player.
I
yes.
think so too.
But I think
He's-
Drummond's also one of those guys where if it was a big man's league, we'd be looking at it and be like,
Well,
wow.
yeah, Andre Drummond is probably the best rebounder in the NBA.
Oh,
I mean, he
absolutely.
has the
Yeah,
average
for
12
sure.
rebounds, 14 rebounds
Yeah,
a game.
it's
It's
just
nuts.
It's just a guard league, so we're all, we're really looking at the guards.
Yeah,
Like LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, if this was back in the day,
right.
you'd be like, wow.
LaMarcus
I mean,
Aldridge
when he
is
played for
really
the Blazers, he was great.
I mean,
he's
yeah.
still playing great
He's still,
now.
he's still a great player.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just. I think a lot of these guys might end up getting in, but I just think if a lot of, like I said, they got to retire today. Can they get in? I don't know.
Yeah, for me, just the Dwight Howard. I mean,
he
early
was-
in his
When
career,
he
I
was
get
so good, he was probably the best player in the NBA. He was so good.
I get that. But
And his
he-
highs were high and his lows were
him and
low.
Melo had just had this huge fall.
Like I said, their highs were high and their
Right.
lows were
Yeah,
low.
like I mean, Dwight Howard carried the Magic to
to
the finals.
yeah,
He did.
yeah,
beat
absolutely.
LeBron.
Beat
in the
LeBron,
final-
yeah.
the conference
He was
semi,
defensive
the
player of the
finals.
year like every year there.
But
Yeah.
as soon as he left Orlando,
But he left Orlando. Yeah, leaves Orlando and he just kind of drops
He
off.
got,
Falls
I think he got a little too big for himself. He goes to LA.
he wasn't the number one guy, and you see how they were always bickering at each other.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
didn't
Him
like,
work
and
out.
Kobe, because it was kind of like
and
a little
Steve
Shaq
Nash.
thing. I think it was a
they
little
got
Shaq
great.
thing where he was like, I'm super good. I don't really have to work that hard.
Right,
And he's a big man, so he's like, I gotta preserve myself, and eventually hurt him
right.
in Houston.
Well, I mean, Shaq's 7 foot, 350 pounds.
Yeah, but
That's
you know
just
what I
like-
mean.
No, I know what you
You know
mean.
what I
Yeah, but I'm
mean.
saying for him to have that mentality,
You can't.
he's not the
You
same
can't
as Shaq.
walk in though with Kobe and be like,
Exactly.
Well,
Shaq
I was
is
good.
one of
I
the
was
few
good in
human
Orlando,
beings.
and it still pissed Kobe off.
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
It
absolutely,
Still
absolutely,
made him mad. then.
absolutely.
No, I mean, but you look at this, the Nick Wright thing. They're obviously locks. I wish he would have put some like a Damian Lillard. Someone that.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
you
somebody
could
else,
argue.
dude. I think Damian Lillard's the most underrated player in the NBA.
I
I think it's because
he's one of them.
he's
I don't know
playing
if he's the
in the
most
small
underrated.
market.
yeah.
in Portland. I mean, he balls out night in and night out.
Well, and then he also doesn't mind taking a step back for CJ, which
Exactly.
also I think hurts him. But he's a good teammate. That's
Yeah.
what you just do.
That's one guy I really want to see get in, just because I
Yeah.
like the
I
way
love-
he plays.
yeah.
I like.
I mean, and even in playoffs, once playoffs
He's had
come
big
around,
shots.
he's had huge shots. Well, he's had more clutch shots than a lot of these guys on this
Exactly.
list.
Yeah.
I think more than LeBron. You could
Me,
argue.
even
You know
more.
what I mean?
I mean, when you need Damian Lillard, he's there.
He's
He's
always
on a
been
good
up
team. Imagine him maybe on a 76ers or something. You know what I mean? Just surrounded by other guys. He could be the number one guy and be a huge scorer.
But that says something to him that he stayed in Portland.
Yeah.
He's trying to be
Oh,
that
yeah.
guy. He
Yeah.
wants to take them.
Yeah.
So he
Well,
doesn't mind the small market.
And I think it's another thing that Russell Westbrook kind of touched on of wanting that competition, not wanting to go anywhere else because
he doesn't want the easy way out.
Well, I think the other thing is too. They've been on good teams though. They've been on playoff teams.
they have
Put yourself in like an Anthony Davis situation where you made the
Horrible
playoffs
team.
before, but now you're not very good. So I think that would be really tough for a lot of those guys too.
Yeah,
Is what if Russ was not on a good team?
that's true.
You know what I mean? So that's another thing you think of. Well,
But you got to think Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum are the reason that team's good. I think if Damian Lillard leaves, I don't know if CJ can take them. To the
I think he
playoffs.
could. I think he's kind of like a Klay Thompson. He could, but it'd be tough.
I think he's a lot better scorer than Klay Thompson.
I do
All
too.
around scorer
Yeah.
than Klay
He's
Thompson.
definitely more athletic than Klay Thompson. He's
For
better
sure.
inside than Klay
Well, and
Thompson.
he'll bring the
is.
ball up court.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's just an all-around better basketball
But the other
player.
thing with Klay is, could he do it? We just never really seen. him do
Exactly,
it.
we don't know.
He's never had to
Yeah.
do it.
He's never really had to. Yeah.
No, but this is a fun debate. You can
Yeah.
talk about this.
forever.
There's just so many players that we can keep trying to throw in.
Right.
When they're still
exactly.
young.
I mean-
you never really know.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the other thing is, you look at the impact these guys have had in the game or in the offense. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Alone,
dude,
the
we're
impact-
watching look at this list. This is our whole growing up watching these
Right.
guys play. Like
For sure.
these guys were the NBA for us. And they still, a
Absolutely.
lot of them still are.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's cool to talk about. I don't know if you guys want to touch on this. Who are some guys that you think that are young right now that are going to be locked for the Hall of Fame? Given 5 years down the road, these guys that are just now in the league, who do you think could be one of the best?
Zion Williams. No.
I think a lot of people would argue it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people before he's even played a season in the
Exactly.
league. Yeah.
I mean, you could
talks
argue
about-
it just on his couch.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the Greek Freak.
Yeah,
That's who I was.
number one.
That was the big guy I was
That's
thinking
number
of.
one you think of. Maybe like a Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah.
keeps
Ben
it up.
Simmons.
A Ben Simmons. Guys like that. I mean, it's so hard to
Luka.
tell.
obviously.
Luka.
Luka.
yeah,
I mean,
Luka
you
is
think
phenomenal.
obviously. Yes,
Kristaps.
Exactly.
There's
That's
just a
the
lot
thing.
of like we talked Friday. There's a lot of young talent. Like this league's gonna
It's
be
gonna
fun.
it's gonna get even better. I
It's
think.
gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, look at all these guys that are going in and out. Kevin Durant, Giannis, LeBron. Like when it was LeBron a couple of years with the Heat, it was kind of LeBron and no one really else.
Well, and the other thing is, these guys are now coming to the league scorers. Before
Right.
they were, well, how do I play? They're kind of old school. Some of these guys were older school. They weren't great at shooting. Now they're all great at shooting when they come to the league, and they're way more impactful. I think when they come in.
Right.
Well,
Karl
yeah.
Anthony Towns is another guy. That
Yeah,
I think will be
Karl
really
Anthony
good.
yeah,
Towns,
absolutely.
for sure.
So it's just like I said, we talked Friday. This is gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah,
Oh, for
it's
sure.
gonna be good for a long
We're
time.
gonna see a big change, but it's gonna be fun.
And
I think it's gonna be weird. LeBron, Kevin Durant, all these guys when they retire, it's gonna be weird. But I don't think the league's gonna lose. I think the league's still gonna be where it's at because I think that still these
Well,
players
and I
are so
think if
great.
you keep getting athletes like Zion and guys like that, it's gonna be so fun.
well, and then there's always gonna be another guy who's gonna take that spot.
That's the thing. Someone was talking about that. I think it was Dwayne Wade and Kevin Garnett. They did a thing for Dwayne Wade because his last All-Star game. He was talking about you can't compare GOATs because of different. There's a GOAT of an era.
Yeah.
Like after LeBron, there's gonna be a GOAT of the
Of
next.
that
Just
era.
like after MJ was Kobe.
That's
and
what
Kobe
I would
was
argue.
LeBron.
It was Kobe, yeah,
Exactly.
and then LeBron, and then maybe I don't know.
Maybe
Zion,
Kevin Durant
and
for a
Kevin
little bit.
Durant,
'Cause we don't really know. He's got a little bit longer.
Well,
think.
I would say that I would overall. I mean, this is going to be pretty controversial, but I would say Kevin Durant is probably the best basketball player in the NBA now.
I mean,
That can be
you
argued.
could argue
I think
at
he-
this
I think
state
he's-
right now.
I think he's
I think
better.
he
I
is.
mean, I would rather have Kevin Durant on my team than LeBron James. That's just
That's tough.
That's
I
just-
mean,
that is
that's a
tough.
tough argument.
Kevin Durant. I mean, he's just better on
Well,
offense.
I mean,
that's
he
the
is.
thing you look at. He's a lot better on offense, but not passing the ball.
But he was
and
natural.
he's not better at
He
rebounding.
was
bro.
natural at that. That's my only argument. Is he was a natural scorer. You look at LeBron. He was just
he
an
just
athlete.
works for
Just an
everything, and he
athlete.
works so hard.
All
You know
around
what I mean?
game. I don't know if we're ever going to see someone like LeBron again.
And that's the beauty of it. And we don't know if we're ever going to see someone like MJ or Kobe
Yeah.
or LeBron. And it's-
Well, I think the other thing is Kobe patterned his game after
MJ, they're
so are
very
we gonna,
identical
So are we
players.
going to see a person maybe pattern their game after LeBron coming?
Like,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Like, is Zion going to come in looking for assists too? Like,
I don't
is he
think
going
so.
to try
I
to
don't think he
dish?
can do the things LeBron.
And I mean, LeBron's not a great shooter,
But he's better
He's
than
gotten
most.
better.
And
He has
and
gotten
that's
better.
and I don't know if Zion can
I don't
match that
I think
level.
he
of-
was-
Yeah.
I think he's a way worse shooter than
Yeah,
LeBron.
he is.
Yeah, he is. There's no other way to put it.
I mean, yeah, he can jump from.
That's the only weakness of that
yeah,
whole team
yeah,
too.
yeah, I agree.
But he can jump out of the gym.
yeah,
grab
he can
any
jump as high
rebound,
as he wants. Yeah,
But when a team clogs the lane, what's it going to be like? I think that will actually help him because, like Lucas said, the NBA is so much easier to score in than the Euro
yeah.
because it's spaced out ridiculous.
And I think it's just, especially regular season, is just far less competitive. And the
Mhm.
people aren't really playing defense. That's why you see these games getting 130, 100.
Well, the fun thing will be to see those when Zion gets in the league. Is there going to be someone that's like, let's shut this kid up?
Mhm.
You know,
I
like
get.
Patrick Beverly did with Lonzo Ball.
Mhm.
You got a lot of hype around you, but let me show you how it's actually done.
Oh, I
I
can
think that's
guarantee
gonna
there's
happen.
going to be a
I
lot
mean,
of people
that's
out
gonna
there
happen.
like they're tired of all these headlines. Like,
It could be LeBron.
I mean, well, how tall is he? 6'8"?
6'8",
6'8",
285
6'7",
pounds.
I mean, but I don't. I mean, I just like guys like Kevin Durant. They're just such Kevin
Yes.
Durant. They're just such good. They're such good scorers, and Kevin Durant is in the NBA. He's been in the NBA for a long time.
I
he
think
has
if
the
you
experience.
Zion on Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant's going to score on him almost every
I
game.
mean, obviously down low. I mean, he almost weighs 300 pounds. He's not. And maybe Kevin Durant won't.
I mean,
but,
maybe a little fade
but
away.
get him on the perimeter,
He's
and
done.
I don't know if Zion can guard Kevin Durant. You know what I mean?
like, that's going to be a big change. Like, he can guard these guys on the perimeter in college. But
Well,
They're
because
just not
but
that.
it also helps because the lanes are clogged. It's not
Yeah.
as much space.
exactly.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying he's not going to be great. But
He's going to be a phenomenal
Exactly.
player.
He's
We're,
gonna be
not, we're not
a
knocking
great
him at all.
athlete.
But there's just the level of competition is just so much higher once you reach the NBA. It's really the cream of the crop. The best
Well,
players in
exactly.
the world.
I mean,
And it's just different.
I just think he'll kind of be like a Giannis.
Yeah.
Where he's not going to shoot,
He's
but
not a
he'll
great
get
shooter,
down
but he's
low.
dominant.
He'll get
He's
down
a
low and he'll
dominant
be
guy.
dominant.
He's physical.
Exactly.
Physical player. And I don't think that'll be a bad thing in a league full of all these guys that shoot threes
No.
from almost half court.
Well,
Because
you
you see a
look at-
guy that's 300 pounds throw it down.
And you look at Giannis, that's what he's not shooting threes.
Right.
He's going straight to
Like
they're,
we said, the All-Star game, he had like 10 dunks.
they're in first place right now.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah, right.
And it will move back into a low post game because people are going to get tired of all these threes and scoring. So they're going to be like, Let me develop some low post guys.
And the defense is gonna start
See,
catching
I
on to
think
these threes.
What happens is, dude, there's so many rules now on defense. Like, guys are so limited. I heard Muggsy Bogues from, shortest player in NBA history, 5'3".
5'3", yeah.
He said, so many things are different now because you can't even put your hands on it.
Hand check.
You can't
Well,
hand
I
check.
mean, you think of the Jordan rules.
Right.
That couldn't even fly.
Wouldn't
It
even- yeah,
wouldn't even-
they would all
wouldn't
be
even-
fined. They would all
Yeah.
be kicked out of the NBA, dude.
They would all got texts and
Yeah,
flagrants.
absolutely.
I just think I don't know if they'll ever change that back to letting defensive guys do more, because I think they're like, well, these fans love when these people are scoring so many
Basketball has
points.
become that finesse sport.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not gritty anymore.
It's
finesse.
you practice this 1,000 times, and even if you're not the most athletic, the biggest guy, you're gonna be good. Like James Harden, he's not the fastest dude, he's not the strongest dude, he's not the
And
quickest.
some people
But-
are. He's a little bit overweight.
Right, but he works practice
on
and
his
practice
game.
and practice, and that's what makes him so dominant. Is that he practices things 1,000. That's why his step back, he's probably practiced that for hours and hours and hours every day.
He's probably done that since he was growing up.
Exactly.
I mean, regardless if he travels.
Whether
I mean-
whether he travels or not, that's up for another discussion.
But that's also where the NBA is. Let them get away with that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, and I don't hate it. You know what
No,
I mean?
I know. I
like
mean, most of the guys carry anyway.
exactly.
That's
So-
what I'm
what's the
saying
difference?
is I think the NBA is more focused on going back to the fans. They want to keep the
Well,
viewership.
they look at the ratings.
I
They
agree.
look at
Yeah, and
what
I
they've
think-
been able to do in ratings
Harden sells tickets.
compared to the other leagues in the U.S. They look at their ratings. They go,
I agree.
we're at the top because we allow this.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think you look at it, people are going to rather see somebody drop 50 than get held to 80.
You're right,
Like,
exactly.
People don't appreciate the defense. People don't want to watch defense.
I mean, you're going to have those pure basketball fans over there.
I mean,
like that, you know
in
what I mean?
any sport, no one wants to sit there. That's why,
Like
the
the
Super
Super
Bowl,
Bowl, yeah.
everyone hated it, but
But that's
great
just good
defense.
football.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't hate it.
I enjoyed it.
I
I thought-
hated it.
I thought that was a good game. I mean, it wasn't a lot of scoring, but
but to go from Philly and New England,
yeah,
and
but
that
you know
they're
what I
just
mean?
throwing the ball
That's-
downfield.
that's
and-
nice to see though.
Exactly.
Because
That's a
I
good
agree.
change.
I
you know,
agree.
sometimes when you're seeing
Patrick Mahomes
and all these
yeah,
guys, you're
I
like,
got you.
well,
like,
you know,
wow, what's defense?
it would be
anymore?
nice. It would be nice to see someone get stopped, and they finally got stopped.
Like, yeah,
That
and
was
it
fun.
showed that defense still wins you
Exactly.
championships.
And turned it into a chess match.
Exactly.
It's
Well, it
strategy
was
now.
more
Yeah,
up
now it's
here
strategy
than what it
instead
was
of
your skill.
yeah, exactly.
That's why I'd like to see, maybe go back to letting hand checking go. Like, let these guys play defense.
That's not. I don't think it's gonna happen.
It
No,
won't.
I
It
don't
will
think
not
so.
happen.
I would like to see it happen.
I mean,
yeah.
you would love to see it, but it's just the players.
Because
you
I
know,
want to. I
don't
want
like
to see two guys be able to go at it.
Absolutely.
But normally, when you get that, like you get an ISO, there's either a foul or an easy.
I mean,
way
but
to
that
the
might change after 20 years. If
I
Adam
mean,
Silver's still not the commissioner, and a guy comes in, he's like, I want it to be a little bit more gritty. And
I'm all for physicalness. Like, I want it to be a little more physical.
I think that's where it's lacking. Is really.
I think it's
well, I mean, you have
soft.
a guy like Giannis who's bumping into people and dunking. You're like, that's fun to watch. And then you have these
Yeah,
other people that are.
And I just feel like the NFL taking all these safety precautions is necessary.
But they have to.
That's what I'm saying.
They
That's a
have to.
necessity.
But the
They
NBA,
have to.
They don't really
little
need.
hand
Yeah,
check
they
goes,
don't
you're
really
telling me
need
that's a
these
foul.
things. They don't really
Exactly.
need.
That's the difference. The NFL has
They
to.
have because these
They
are
have
people's
to.
lives that they're
Well,
at.
and
And
there's
it's public. They don't do
proven
anything.
facts
Yeah,
that they have
CTE,
to
all
do.
that. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to do it.
Yeah,
It's not like the
you're-
NBA where it's like, well, we just want it to be cooler and funner. Like,
These are people's lives. That
Exactly, you have to do it.
I mean, like, yeah. see,
We're
right.
not talking about like, guys getting by me, I'm gonna grab them, pull it back.
Yeah,
We're just talking about
absolutely.
like you're gonna reposition yourself like
Absolutely.
this.
Yeah.
That's a foul. Now,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
ridiculous.
and that's crazy. Yeah.
a guy drives the basket and that, come on.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, LeBron. Michael Jordan was getting freaking.
Like I said, the Jordan rule, they were clotheslining.
Yes,
down
close-
the
they were-
court.
I think you gotta find a happy medium between the two.
I mean, and obviously you don't want to see things that what they were doing to Jordan. I mean,
Yeah,
that,
you don't
that
wanna
was
see
a
it.
bit
yeah, that's what I'm
excessive,
saying.
but-
You get in between the two,
Right.
let guys put their hands on somebody, but
that's
don't
the
let it get out of
change.
control.
Yeah.
That's a change of generations, though. Like
Yeah,
the way
because
we
everybody
grew up,
wants to see that.
the way we grew up, it's like, I don't really want to get hit that hard. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. It might change, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's just softer generations.
But
Like
that's just the
everybody's
thing
getting a
that it
little
is.
more soft. They're like, well, I just want to go score. I don't want to have to get.
And
run
another
into
thing
people."
is that I think the NBA has probably out of the pro sports has the worst officials.
Oh,
out of
absolutely.
every- and I
Bradley Beal the other night,
Yeah.
dude took like 7
Travel,
steps.
yeah, but
I
that was
just
definitely-
don't want to leave these judgment decisions into these guys' hands because I don't think they
Well,
make good decisions.
And then they do the thing where if they miss a call, they talk about it the next day, or yeah, we missed it. You can't
You
have
can't-
that.
dude.
You can't have
You're
that.
like,
It's
wow,
your job. job. Shut up. and
What
just go
happened
home.
earlier? Kevin Durant threw the ball with his whole foot out of bounds back in.
or
and
where
they
he double
didn't-
dribbled that one time they came out. Oh, you might. No, you have to make
You
that.
blew it,
bend.
and now go
You
home
have to
and
make
sit
that
down and think about
Yeah.
it. Don't get on TV.
It's
and
just like,
make
why are you
excuse.
gonna? You can't blame.
Well, that's the thing the NBA put in though. They want the officials to come out and say what we did wrong.
I
But
think that's
you know they
stupid.
did it wrong as soon as it
You don't
happened.
want
Like,
that.
wow. Like,
You don't
how
want
do you
that.
miss like?
The Bradley Beal thing was horrible. I know exactly what you're talking
Kevin
about.
Durant.
Yeah,
earlier
Kevin
this
Kevin
year,
Durant was bad.
Dude was like a foot out of bounds, turns, throws it in. The ref is right there.
I mean, I guess I see where the ref isn't exactly looking where he should be, but Bradley Beal legitimately walked down from the free throw line
Yeah.
under the rim and threw the ball.
Yeah,
And
under
that
the
was
completely.
horrible.
Yeah.
I
That
think he
was
threw it out of
awful.
bounds, and I think a foul was called.
Yeah.
Every person in that arena saw it besides the refs on the court.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That is just
Unreal.
that. How does that
Unreal.
happen? How does that even happen?
I think they were more worried about is he going to get hit down the lane.
I did, probably soft.
They're like, oh
yeah.
no, someone's gonna touch him.
He's
Yeah.
good his
Yeah.
shoulder.
Someone's gonna touch
He doesn't
him.
need a dribble.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it's just
But
it's
yeah,
a
alright.
mess.
So like, there's gonna be a lot of changes. It's gonna be real fun.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to keep watching. Anything else on the NBA you guys want to get to? Or?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, so that's gonna do it for the first segment of our fourth podcast, and we'll be back shortly.
Peace.